And now a question that comes from the furthest reaches of outer space. Do aliens exist, and are they already here on Earth?
Antarctica is the most remote place on Earth. Covered in ice, battered by extreme weather, and nearly impossible to reach, it feels far removed from everyday human life. Yet for decades, governments have kept it under strict control. Large areas are off limits. Travel is tightly regulated, and much of what happens there is never clearly explained. But why lock down a place that's supposed to hold nothing? Recently, Elon Musk hinted that what lies beneath Antarctica could be far more valuable than most people realize. He didn't say much, but it was enough to raise eyebrows. And governments have already been worried about this. So what exactly did Musk say about Antarctica? And why is the government already panicking? Let's get into it. Musk's cryptic clues. Antarctica is not just cold. It is extreme, isolated, far from everything familiar. It sits at the very bottom of the planet, covered by ice that, in some places, is more than 4 kilometers thick. Temperatures drop so low that exposed skin can freeze in seconds. Winds tear across the land with hurricane force. For most of human history, reaching this place was impossible. Even today, access is strictly controlled. On paper, Antarctica exists for science. But history suggests something more complicated. Since the early 1900s, powerful nations have sent massive expeditions south. All for one purpose? Map the unknown land and find out what lies there. That was the story on paper. But many of these missions didn't go as planned. Supplies ran out, objectives changed, and some of the most significant expeditions returned with fewer answers than expected. For decades, Antarctica remained a mystery. Then, much later, Elon Musk entered the conversation. Musk is known for doing what others say cannot be done. He pushed electric cars into the mainstream and made reusable rockets a reality. More than anything, Musk thinks far ahead. About extinction, about survival, about what happens if Earth can no longer support human life. In 2020, Musk made a comment that sounded casual. He said that if ancient ruins were ever found on Mars, the real question would not be whether they existed, but who built them. He did not joke. He did not frame it as science fiction. A year later, he made a similar comment about Antarctica. Musk suggested the continent could be used to test SpaceX Starship systems. From an engineering perspective, it made sense. But Antarctica is not just another testing ground. It is one of the most restricted places on Earth. So people began to wonder why he chose that place. What if Antarctica isn't just ice and rock? What if, beneath kilometers of frozen ground, there are traces of something far older than us? Structures, ruins, or evidence of a lost civilization erased by time and ice? And if that were even partially true, what would it mean for everything we think we know about human history? The hidden maps. Long before satellites, radar, or digital navigation, people were already trying to understand the shape of the world. They did it slowly, with ships that took months to cross oceans. One of the most discussed examples is the Piri-Reis map, created in the early 16th century by an Ottoman admiral. At first glance, it appears ordinary, showing parts of Africa and South America. But at the bottom of the map is something unusual, a landmass that some believe resembles Antarctica. What makes this strange isn't just its presence, it's how it's drawn. The coastline appears detailed, defined, and most importantly, ice-free. Today, Antarctica is buried beneath kilometers of ice. Seeing it without that ice doesn't match the world we know. Piri-Reis left notes on the map. He explained that he didn't invent everything himself. Instead, He copied from much older source maps, documents that were already ancient in his own time. Now that detail matters because if those source maps existed, they suggest that someone may have mapped parts of the world long before modern history says it was possible, possibly before Antarctica was fully frozen. Other ancient maps raise similar questions. Some show coastlines that closely match what later modern radar and satellite imagery confirmed. These maps were drawn centuries before precise measuring tools existed. The accuracy is hard to explain. Critics argue about the validity of these maps. The military's silence. After strange maps and old knowledge came to light, attention moved toward the south. Governments said Antarctica was only for scientific research. They claimed soldiers were there to support research and survival testing. At first, this sounded normal, but when people looked more closely, the story began to feel incomplete. The biggest mystery was not why the military went there. It was why they stopped talking afterward. One significant event often mentioned is Operation High Jump. The United States Navy carried it out in 1946 and 1947. This was not a small mission. More than 4,000 soldiers, 13 ships were sent to Antarctica. Official records say the goal was training and research. But the mission ended early, and the public explanation was brief. The operation was led by Admiral Richard Byrd, a famous explorer and Navy officer. After returning, details about the mission became unclear. Some reports were sealed, others were never fully explained. The size of the force did not match the simple reasons later given, causing many people to question what really happened. Over time, stories began to spread. Some claimed the mission faced dangers it did not expect. Others said the military saw something strange beneath the ice. In 1959, the Antarctic Treaty was signed by countries such as the United States and the Soviet Union. The treaty stated that Antarctica should be used only for peace and science. The pattern troubles many researchers. It feels as if something important was pushed into silence. Alien ice theory. Many people reject the idea of aliens. Many scientists reject it as well. That skepticism is reasonable. There is no proof that beings from space live beneath Antarctica. Still, the idea keeps coming back. For decades, pilots and military personnel near Antarctica have reported strange lights in the sky. They described objects moving very fast, changing direction suddenly, and flying in ways standard aircraft cannot. In 1965, a Chilean Navy pilot reported seeing several disc-shaped objects over the Antarctic peninsula. He said they moved faster than anything known at the time. Later, other pilots and researchers in the area reported similar sightings. Under Antarctica's ice sheet are large hidden lakes. These lakes have been sealed off for millions of years. The most famous is Lake Vostok, which lies beneath almost 4 kilometers of ice. Scientists discovered it in the 1990s. In 2012, researchers drilled into the lake and found microbial life. These organisms survive without sunlight, under extreme pressure, and in complete isolation. This discovery showed that life can exist in places once thought impossible. That led some people to ask another question. If microbes can live under the ice, could other environments exist there too? Underground spaces, caverns, areas protected from the surface. When people combine unexplained sightings, hidden lakes, limited access to Antarctica, Antarctica is still difficult to reach and heavily restricted. Large parts of it remain unexplored. As long as that continues, these theories will not disappear, because unanswered questions tend to grow. Antarctica is still one of the most mysterious places on Earth. Many missions have gone there to explore, but most have returned without clear answers. So, what do you think lies out in Antarctica? Drop your thoughts about this in the comments below. If you liked this video, ensure you give it a thumbs up. Also, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, because we will be uploading more crazy stories like this one in the coming weeks. Until then, see ya!